All right, everybody, we are back here on the News and Now. You can see our sky drone is up and about already, and it's shown unfortunately, some destruction caused by the monsoon storms last night. Our very own Steve Kraft is there right now. Steve, first off, tell us where you're at, and obviously what we're seeing is very sad.
That's correct. We're at about 296th Avenue and Roosevelt. This is in the extreme West Valley, sort of in the Buckeye area, and maybe 12 to 15 miles east of Palo Verde Nuclear Generating Station, the big power plant. So that's where we are, and what you're looking at now is what happens after some of those volatile winds that can sweep through the valley strike. That happened overnight, and the winds attacked an area with a bunch of single-wide mobile homes that look to be of pretty old vintage, pretty flimsy, and this is how vulnerable those homes can be when there are any kind of problematic winds. So as you look down here, you can see one mobile home that was literally picked up and turned on its head, flipped over, smashed into the ground, smashed on top of a blue Toyota Camry that's underneath that wreckage of a home. Looks to be a total loss. I should remind you, as you look at these pictures, the amazing thing out of all of this is that we had no serious injuries, nothing much more than a scratch from the various families that used to call these home. You can see some folks down there. That's Red Cross. They're working with people here in the area to try to help them out. It looks like these families have lost everything. My understanding is that these are people who appear to work at local dairies and cattle raising businesses that are in this area. This cluster of homes is right next to one of those businesses. And so the people who live in these homes are already sort of living on the margins. And then this happens, and they're really devastated. You can see the wreckage of a home sort of in front of us with walls that are sort of lavender colored and kind of a sky blue. That was a home. It's been stripped of a roof and walls. You can see what appears to be a kitchen, even a little kitchen set in there. We saw boxes of cereal and groceries still in the shelves of that kitchen. But of course the walls have been obliterated, stripped away. We see in this neighborhood a lot of trampolines that I guess families have, for kids to play on. Those have been, a number of them in the area, bent, twisted, and thrown about. And you can see another home behind the one with the destroyed walls. That one also looks to be trashed. And then to the right of that also, we have another mobile home that looks like it's been pretty much gutted. So you have four homes right next to each other, and down the street about a couple blocks is another site with another home that looks to have been damaged seriously as well. And it's incredible if you just picture yourself in the midst of these swirling and howling winds at the moment that this happened. It's hard really to wrap your mind around how violent that must have been. As we look around the neighborhood, we've seen a number of homes that are built more substantially that weren't damaged so seriously, but even some of those had lots of ceiling tiles peeled off and thrown onto the ground. And we've seen a lot of trees that have been knocked down, including one tree several miles from here by Palo Verde Baptist Church that came crashing down, a mature 40 to 50 foot tall, large pine tree that narrowly missed crushing into the parsonage, the home where the pastor lives. And that would have been disastrous. We talked to the pastor, and he's just so thankful that that didn't happen and that the tree fell the other way and not into his living room where he was sitting at that moment with his wife. So as you look around here, these are spectacular pictures that we have courtesy of our Skyfox drone team. They're out here, and they're such a valuable news-gathering tool for us to get extraordinary pictures. And really, they can show this to you in a way that we cannot do on the ground with our cameras, good as they may be, and our phones and all that sort of technology. This is really the way to go, and we're getting some extraordinary views of the damage. And I'm able to look over the shoulder of our pilots, sort of at what they're looking at, so I can share that with you. So right now we're at an altitude where you can see how these mobile homes have been tilted on their side and smashed into the ground. There's people who are kind of walking around near these homes they're pretty stunned, I think, looking at the nature of the damage here. But it's also the case that it's so incredibly hot and humid that it's hard to move very quickly after a few minutes out here.
Oh, sure.
Everybody's just sort of milling around because that's how difficult it is just to deal with the elements right now. It's really oppressive today, and you can really feel the sheer force of the monsoon is really swung into fourth gear, I'll put it that way.
Yes.
So it's an overdrive, really. So it's pretty miserable out here, and much more miserable for people who had homes yesterday and don't have them today.
Yeah. And
So, Mike, you're looking at this along with me. Do you have any questions as you see the scope of this damage?
Yes. Have you seen any of the people that have lost their homes? Have they been around or this afternoon?
Well, the people who live in the homes we have not seen here. We have seen, however, relatives of the folks who live in these homes. We asked them to talk to us. They declined interviews politely, but I believe they just had too much on their minds and they wanted to retrieve whatever they could safely get back for their loved ones. So they're pretty shocked, I think. I mean, if you look at, this is everything people own, and now it's suddenly gone. They've got nothing but the clothes on their back, essentially.
Sure.
So the Red Cross helps, and that's great, but that's only for a few days, maybe. And then what? It's a safe bet that these people may not have insurance. That's unfortunately a fairly safe bet. And that being the case, they're renters. These are rental properties. They're owned by a man who lives maybe a block or two away. And we talked to him. He also declined an interview. But he was very friendly. But he may have some insurance on these properties. But the people who live in here who've lost everything that they owned, I'm guessing, just from the looks of things, may not. So it's a really difficult situation for them coming at this particular time. It does beg the question of what they do next. So it just shows you that when we have a summer storm here in the valley, it has immediate human effects on people and really can throw lives into turmoil if you're lucky enough not to have been hurt when the winds come through.
Yeah.
Back to you, Mike.
Yeah, and this sky drone stuff is just phenomenal, the pictures that it's shown, but then you look at it and then you remember, oh boy, these are families' homes that are gone, and it's almost like if the home now is just stuck in this frozen moment where it's, you see the memories are still there, but it doesn't look the way that people remember it, so it's very powerful.
Yeah, it's sort of a turning point for a lot of people. And the scary thing today is, there's a house that's really very unstable that flipped over on top of a car, and there were people crawling underneath that wreck to retrieve, a pair of shorts or a pair of pants or a T-shirt or a pair of shoes or whatever they could find. And that was a frightening thing to watch because the places are taped off with yellow caution tape, and, some of these loved ones, I think, went past those barriers just to try to get what they could. For people who now have nothing at all. Mm-hmm. And so it was a poignant thing to see them scavenging for whatever they possibly could get their hands on just to try to move forward and to have something to put on their backs. Right now we're looking at that multicolored single wide that's obviously a complete wreck and is probably just be bulldozed down and loaded onto a trailer and brought to the dump somewhere. They're very flimsy. I mean, that's what you really get out of watching this, and how many thousands of these types of structures we have around the valley, and how precarious life is for the people who live inside of them. This is a reminder that, if you live in a solid house where you complain about losing a couple ceiling tiles or something, you really don't have too much to complain about.
No, you really don't.
These people this is one step above living in a tent.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true there. Well, that's our Steve Kraft on the phone, and thanks so much to you, Steve, as well as the Sky Drone team for bringing us these pictures here live on Facebook Live.
Thanks a lot, Mike. Really appreciate it.
Yes. Take care, everybody. Thank you.
Good.
And folks on Fox10Phoenix.com and Fox10 Phoenix Facebook Live, let us know where you are watching from right now, what it's like in your area, as we're taking a look at round 2 of more monsoon weather coming our way. All right, and you're probably getting that alert on your phones now, everybody, that a dust storm warning is now in effect until 4:15. That is an emergency alert just being put down right now. Welcome everyone here on Fox10Phoenix.com, part of Fox10 Phoenix Facebook Live there as well. We're continuing to show you these live Skyfox aerials right now. Dust storm warning happening right now. From the National Weather Service in Phoenix. We are under a severe thunderstorm warning as well, including Mesa, Chandler, Gilbert until 4:15. There is a flash flood warning, including Florence, Arizona, until 6:30 tonight. There's a dust storm warning for the East Valley until 4:15. Very strong winds up to 60 miles per hour. Near zero visibility. Travel on US 60 in the East Valley is discouraged at this point. That's from the National Weather Service in Phoenix putting that out. All right, folks, and this is happening right now. This wall of dust slamming the East Valley right now, near zero visibility, strong winds up to 50 miles per hour. We're continuing to watch here live on the news now, part of Fox10Phoenix.com and Facebook Live. Let us know where you are watching from right now. We know we have viewers from all over the country, but more importantly, right now, we want to know all of our viewers in the Valley here in the Arizona area. We do appreciate everyone joining us. Let us know where you are watching from and what it's like in your neighborhood.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks so much for watching News Now, part of Fox10Phoenix.com. Pilar Arias signing back on here. We are having some serious weather moving through the valley. This is the East Valley. This is Apache Junction, East Mesa, Chandler, Gilbert. We're starting to get some viewer photos and videos sent to us via social media. Everybody, please stay safe out there and heed all warnings. We're hearing cell phones going off here in the newsroom with notifications about exactly what is happening out there. You see the rain, you see the dust, you see the wind. Radar there is on the top right-hand side of your screen. Remember, if visibility is down to pretty much zero, pull aside to stay alive. Turn your car off and take your foot off the brake. That way nobody follows your tail lights thinking that you're moving traffic. This is News Now, part of Fox10Phoenix.com. We have team coverage out there. We will continue to do so as well. Just getting word that Fox 10 Phoenix's Matt Rodewald is headed to East Mesa, where we're being told things are pretty serious at a mobile home park. We saw it in Buckeye, Arizona overnight. Now we're seeing it in the East Valley. Don't forget, in about 2 hours, we will have you covered for that Supreme Court of the United States pick by President Trump. Meanwhile, we're going to stay on weather. We were scheduled to start our special coverage of the SCOTUS pick right now at 4 o'clock, but we are going to stay on weather. If you're here in the valley, please share this stream with family, friends, coworkers, neighbors, everybody, so they can know what's going on exactly in their neighborhood. Just want to provide you all an update of these live pictures we have now. Skyfox is on the left-hand side of your screen. On the top right, it's the Fox Vision Foxcast right there. And on the bottom right, we have a Fox 10 Phoenix crew driving on the ground. The ADOT cameras still showing some rain out there. We'll be switching cameras here just a bit. All right, the ADOT camera now on the bottom right-hand side of your screen, everyone, showing 90th Street and the 101. The whole East Valley either has been hit or it could be headed your way. Please, please stay safe out there, everyone. You see that wall of dust there with Skyfox. A lot of people here asking us if we're going to be switching to our other YouTube event for the Supreme Court of the United States pick. We are heavily covering this local weather, and as soon as things change, as soon as they die down a little bit, we will launch that stream. But meanwhile, we're going to stay right here with this weather coverage. Currently have 400 watching on our YouTube stream. This is News Now, part of Fox10Phoenix.com. Thank you all for trusting us to bring you not just news, but weather. We have the whole Fox 10 Phoenix crew working on weather-related stories right now. Arizona Department of Transportation has been taking to Twitter a lot during this monsoon activity. Their most recent tweet says, "Storm alert, the wall of dust has blanketed the Loop 101 at 90th Street. Hashtag Phoenix traffic." That's PHX traffic. Please remember to always keep us in mind when you're getting weather pictures and videos. You can send them to us on multiple social media platforms: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, email, all channels available for you to send your weather-related stuff to us. All right, everyone, we have more people watching our live weather coverage than I thought. Currently 430 on the YouTube stream alone, but we have lots of people tuned in to Fox10Phoenix.com and watching on our mobile app. How many of you out there are getting mobile alerts about this dust storm rolling through? I just got an emergency alert that said dust storm warning until 4:15, so we have about 7 minutes left for that. And then it says, remember, pull aside, stay alive, from the National Weather Service. All right, everyone, I just got word that we have some viewer pictures and videos I can share with you. I'm trying to pull them all into the system now. This is all stuff that viewers have given us permission to show you. Trying to figure out which ones are pictures and which ones are videos here. That way I can have the sound all the way up for you. Hail. There's hail in there. Everybody, please, if you're going to be a storm chaser of sorts, you're going to be out and about getting pictures and videos, do so very cautiously. We want everybody to stay safe out there. The monsoon season, some people love it, some people are, well, they say they'd be better off without it, but serious weather moving through the valley right now. We're going to continue to keep an eye on it. Band of storms moving from east to west. Got Skyfox. We have multiple crews on the ground tracking it, and viewer pictures and videos coming in. All right, I'm going to intermittently pull up the pictures and videos we're getting, along with tracking the storm from the sky and the ground. Tower cam is now on the bottom right, showing you exactly the situation out there. Look at this picture viewer sent. Makes you wonder, is that like a dust devil or what is that? Look at the cloud of dust there. All right, we have some sort of idea as to how big the hail was. Take a look there. Viewer submitted picture. All right, everybody, good afternoon again, evening, depending on where you're watching Fox News Now from. Pilar Arias joined here with one of our very newest, Christina.
Hi everyone.
I did say your name right?
Yeah,
that
yes,
matters.
You did.
Okay, so we're tracking weather here, and we have some pretty serious situations going on in the East Valley. You've been in town for how long now?
2-3 weeks. I've never seen anything like this.
Have you been in the East Valley yet?
No.
This is where I live.
Oh, really? Oh,
yes.
So it's flowing over your house.
Pretty
currently.
much. Our assignments manager right now is like, are you going to have a house to go to? And I'm
Oh
like,
my
that's not a
goodness.
joking matter.
At least your car's here.
Yeah, well, that's like a good or a bad
So
thing.
but if you had to live in your car, you could, right?
That's true too. So we have graphics up. We've got our Fox Vision showing us the radar. We've got Skyfox there kind of panning around, and then we've got our tower cam. I think this is finally the big one. We've been waiting for it.
Yeah, we had like a little baby one, I think, last week, but it was something small compared to this.
Well, it was just mostly dust and wind so far. We've had like off and on sprinkles, and now the viewer videos we're getting out of Mesa, some of them are amazing. I want you to see. I've already played this one, but I think you might be able to hear it. I'm gonna have to turn down our microphones, but I think you can hear it. It is the hail. Hang on. All right, so when you have a video like that, it's kind of worth a repeat. And you were just saying you shared it on social media on Facebook.
Yes, and someone commented, they just said, oh, don't worry, it's going to be melted soon.
Oh
so
my
it'll be all out
goodness.
here soon.
So we're all used to it. We're all used to it like blowing through and being like hour long event and then it being done.
Yeah, I'm going to check Twitter right now because Sky Harbor just replied to my tweet.
What'd they say?
So I tweeted, FlightAware said that inbound flights were grounded until 4:45 because of the weather, the thunderstorms in the area.
Of course.
So someone responded to me, they were coming here from Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah.
And so they said they were still on their way. So Phoenix Sky Harbor replied to my tweet and they said it's always a good idea for travelers to check their flight status with the airline before they come to the airport. So that is definitely always a great idea. You always want to make sure.
Yeah.
Things change at the last minute. You never really know.
Seriously, and I was woken up at 3:30 this morning by monsoon activity. It was the thunder that actually woke me up. And I can just imagine what the sounds are going on out there right now.
Yeah.
And the lightning and the winds look pretty bad. We've gotten reports that a mobile home park out in this way has sustained pretty serious damage, and they've even called for rescues.
I mean, they are always in any kind of storm situation. I came from Florida, so I covered like hurricane stuff.
Yes.
You know, they're always the first to get damaged. They're so fragile.
Yeah.
They don't withstand wind very well at all.
Yeah, we had Buckeye this morning that was hit. Our drone coverage, we had it here on the stream, and now it's just, this is round 2 in less than 24 hours.
Look at those clouds, though. It's just so ominous.
Yes, very, very dark. And it makes you wonder, like, is there rain in there? Is it going to come down? But then you see the radar, and you're like, there's got to be something in there.
Yeah, and the visibility on the roads when this happens, I was just looking at the ADOT cams. I mean, you can't see anything.
Right.
It is really dangerous.
I know. The ADOT cam we have up now looks pretty clear.
That's good. Yeah, it looks, as the storm is moving west, I think some of the East Valley is starting to look a little bit better.
Yeah. But, I mean, some people, like, they like this. They're like, yeah, finally we're getting rain, we're getting weather activity in the valley. But then other people are like, I get so worried about my property, like my house, my car, my pets, you know, it's like, and then most of the time this happens when all of us are at work. So it's like, what can you do? It's not like you prepare, like, you know, for hurricanes or other sort of weather related events. And
I did notice, I guess that's why a lot of places here, they do have those underground garages for people, just so, you know, your car is kept out of the wide open there.
You can tell that's a social media, maybe a Snapchat or something. That's definitely like one of those quick, but it panned over. It showed the whole wall of dust. It's just making me a little dizzy because it's moving back and forth.
I hope that person got out of there.
Right.
They're like right there.
I know. And I always wonder too, people storm chase, they love this stuff, but I always wonder, like, are they in a safe location? Like, are they in a building shooting out a window, or like what's happening? But then windows can blow out and it can get really dangerous really quickly.
I think sometimes people, they'll do anything to get that perfect shot, but it's like, you got to make sure you're being safe.
Yes, absolutely. I'm trying to see if maybe this one will have some sound to it, if it's a video. It looks like it could be a video. Oh, no sound, but look at it. That's like a time lapse too.
Yeah.
And it just gets worse and worse, and cars are still trying to drive in it. So you haven't driven in one of these yet, have you?
No, have you?
Well, yeah, I'm a native from here.
Oh, so Yeah, but I mean, what do you do when this happens? You just kind of, they say pull over.
Yeah, pull aside, stay alive. My dad taught me this very young. He said one of the biggest things is when you do pull aside, you have to turn off the car and make sure that your foot is off the brake.
Right.
Because if your brake lights are on, people are going to assume that they're your tail lights and that you're moving through traffic, so they're going to follow your lights.
Yeah, but then what if they don't see your car and they're traveling along and they hit you?
Right. That's the.
I mean, anyway, you
exactly.
It's not safe. So.
And I'm trying to think. I can't tell when this next video is from. This looks like this could be the mobile home in Mesa, perhaps mobile home park.
Oh, it might be. Yeah.
I can't tell. Sometimes we're so eager to get these on air that we can't, put the backgrounds on it and make them look all fancy or zoom in or out.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, look at this next one I've got. This one's pretty crazy right here. Look at that. I'm gonna move the lower third.
That's intense.
I mean, it's
amazing photo.
Right, because it makes you wonder, like, okay, well, where are these pictures gonna end up? Because it was 7 years ago, almost exactly, 2011, when haboob became like a coined term out here, because we had the huge dust storm that guy took the video and the images of, and it just went crazy online. That word viral, I feel like gets thrown around so much, but
yeah. Are you talking about his last name's Olbinski?
Yes.
Yeah. So we spoke to him on the show the other night. Remember?
In the 7?
Yes.
Over the phone. Yeah,
Yes.
I remember.
It was. I mean, wow.
Was it pictures or video he had?
Video.
Yeah.
And that was from 9 years ago.
Yeah, the major one, the big one. So I'm telling you, but look at the tower cam now on the bottom right there. Like, it's gotten so dark that it's like you can't even tell. Look at that. Whoa.
Yeah, that is scary.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like a movie set.
It looks like it's nighttime because you see like the outline of the mountain.
Yeah.
Like the sun just completely disappears during
what
these.
happens if you're on a hike? Well, hopefully you're not hiking during the day here right now.
Right, because it's too hot.
Yeah, but what if you're like somewhere on a mountain and this happens?
Yeah, I mean, what do you do? I mean, I know I went to, you probably haven't been up to northern Arizona yet either, right?
Not yet.
Yeah, there's so much of the state you got to travel.
I know.
So, Northern Arizona University is in Flagstaff,
Right.
2 hours away from here. And I went there first for college before I transferred to Arizona State.
Gotcha.
And I lived in the dorms up there, and it's already 7,000 feet elevation up there. And then you live in the dorms, which are like 3 or 4 stories high. And then you get a thunderstorm like this, and it
the
shakes
wind,
the
yeah.
whole building.
Oh my God.
Like lightning hits, and then the thunder afterwards is like, and you're like shaking, and you're like, ah, like an earthquake
That is
almost.
scary, yeah.
Yeah, but that was some of the most intense storms I've ever experienced. Yes, absolutely. And here at Superstition Springs, people have built homes on it. I'm trying to think, like, I don't know about Camelback, if people are allowed to build on there.
I don't know about that, but I have seen Superstition.
South Mountain, too. They have homes up there as well. But, I mean, I don't remember how many years ago it was, but I was caught in a microburst in East Mesa, and even being someone born and raised here is one of the craziest storm experiences I've ever had. And the thing with these storms is that they're just so fast moving.
Right.
Because, I lived in San Antonio before I moved here, and it would rain like half the day, like off and on, like, you know what I mean? And these just like roll right through.
Yeah, I guess the wind just keeps pushing them out of here pretty quickly.
Yeah, but it's just, it's look at that. That picture is like getting worse.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, where's this from?
This is our tower cam that normally shows like downtown
It's on
Phoenix.
top of...
I'm trying to think of which mountain. Hang on, let me ask.
Sure.
All right, so just learning that that's South Mountain. The storm is about to hit downtown Phoenix as we speak here on the street. We currently have 406 people watching on YouTube alone, but tons of people are watching on fox10phoenix.com. I believe the Fox 10 Phoenix Facebook page, and then our app as well. So we're trying to get the Phoenix City Cam that we have access to try to show this thing as it's moving into downtown, because normally it doesn't make it this far. It normally either starts on the east side, the west side, the north side, the south side, and then
dies down.
Yeah. So the fact that we could be losing our buildings here, which I think we already have with this tower cam picture, is pretty intense. But I'm just noticing when I pull these into the system, I can't tell if they're pictures or videos. All I can see is the hail in this one. Wow, it almost looks like snow.
It looks like snow. That's what I was thinking.
In the valley. Like this is crazy. I think Sky Fox is still up as well. Yeah, that's live there. And when you see that, it looks like it's like dying down, but maybe it's just spreading out.
It's pretty thick, that dust.
Yeah, look at that. Okay, so here's our radar again. And I don't know, is it Christy that's doing weather right now?
Yes.
For the 4 o'clock show, we're coming up. We're going to stay on this all afternoon, everybody. As long as we have weather coverage or weather going on, we will certainly bring it to you. And I don't know if this is picture or video here either. Let me see. That looks like a picture. What does that look like? Regular, just like a housing development? I can't tell.
Yeah, a restore complex, I'm not sure.
Yeah, but the fact that that's the thing is that with the visibility, you can't even tell what you're looking at. It's absolutely crazy sometimes. Let's see here. I think we got, that's a video. Look at that.
Wow, already flooding.
In the street, just so quickly. The wind, oh wow.
Yeah, that's the thing. Flash floods can really happen so quickly here.
Yeah, and I don't know like how prepared people really are. I think this one will show the great magnitude of it. Look at that.
Yeah, that's intense.
That's a picture there. But I mean, you can't drive through that.
No, not at all.
So,
Yeah, you just never really know how deep the water is. You cannot try to drive through it.
wow. So yeah, welcome to the valley.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, intense.
But you know, it's weird because, you know, I feel like, you know, it's just, once you experience it, it's something of a lifetime. You hear kids screaming in the background of this video. I know you're not plugged in, but when you hear the kids like, ah!
Yeah, because it's shocking. The way it happens so quickly, I think, is part of the shock factor.
Yeah, I think they're trying to adjust that tower cam right now to make it look better. But this is kind of like a panoramic or like wide angle.
Yeah, one of those panos on your iPhone maybe.
I know, the technology these days. Remember when you used to have like an alarm clock, a camera, a phone, what else? A calculator.
See? I will admit. I get nervous with just my phone.
So it's like your backup essentially.
It is, yeah.
So for me, I use my phone, but what I do is I put like 3 or 4 different alarms, so that way, like if one happens to mess up, I'm still covered.
I have like 7.
Do you have a digital, or is it one of those?
No, I have a digital.
There we go. Okay, at least
it's not that old school. Relax.
Oh man, the ones that I had in elementary school, my mom's like, you never wake up. You need the loudest alarm ever.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, we're gonna continue to show viewer pictures, videos all afternoon. Skyfox is gonna continue to be up. The tower cam. I'm gonna try to pull up the city cam. But thank you for spending some time here on set. I think I'm hearing some thunder above us right as we speak. Actually,
maybe. I do hear like trickling on the lamp or the lights, the skylights.
Yeah.
Maybe that's rain.
Did your phone go off? Was it alerting you like dust storm, thunderstorm?
I got that.
All right, so we're gonna have all your monsoon 2018 coverage here on Fox News Now, part of fox10phoenix.com. Don't go anywhere. I'm gonna try to get that Phoenix camera up for you. All right, everyone. Big thanks again to Christina Carilla for coming up on set and spending some time with News Now. I'm going to show you the Phoenix City Cam, and I need to make sure that they get credit for providing us this live picture, right? So this is them. This is their city cam facing north. So Phoenix City Cam north. And you can see the storm slowly but surely getting in there. This is clouds way at the top, and then you've got dust kind of in the mid-level there. So this is their city cam. That's one angle. And I'm gonna see if they've got other monsoon related pictures. I think this is facing east. All right, we have cars stopping on the freeway, everyone. I'm going to try to bring that to you right now. All right, here we go. Everybody's pulling aside to stay alive. This is really serious storm moving through. This is Loop 202 westbound at Scottsdale Road. It doesn't even look like daytime, everybody, because look at everybody with their headlights on. This is very serious weather moving through the valley right now. If you are on the road, hopefully you are a passenger watching this stream, please share this with your driver. Maybe you're in an Uber or a Lyft. Maybe you're trying to get through the valley. Maybe you're road tripping. Who knows? But we're certainly hoping whoever's behind the wheel is not the one watching the stream. Could be listening to us, but this is very serious weather moving through the valley right there. You see everybody with their hazard lights on. Some people braving, still going through strong. Other people on the far right-hand side are like, nope, not going to do it. Some people have their hazards on. Some people just have their foot on the brake. Remember, when you do pull aside, you want to remove your foot from the brake. You want to turn your vehicle off so that way other people won't think that you are a lane of travel and they won't follow you. Christina made a good point there. She's like, hey, how do you know when you're pulling aside and you can't see if somebody else is not on the side there? You just have to proceed with caution as best you can. This is very serious out there. We've already seen the pictures, the videos. We still have the tower cam on South Mountain that's showing very dusty conditions. Our graphics, our radar still showing very bad conditions out there as well. So this is very serious right now. This is an Arizona Department of Transportation camera at the Loop 202 westbound at Scottsdale Road. So this is right there, kind of like the Phoenix, Tempe, Scottsdale border area. And I see at least about 7 cars pulled over in the emergency lane there. That is not a lane of travel. That's people who have pulled off to the side of the road there, and they're just trying to stay safe. We have some viewers making comments like saying, hey, do not put your hazards on. And I'm trying to see, it looks like that far left lane, I'm not sure if it's the carpool lane. Yeah, we're seeing cars driving through and you can see all the water beneath them. So it looks like people, if they're deciding to continue to drive, that they are proceeding with caution, getting on over to the right lanes, because normally the right lanes are a little bit less flooded, the middle lanes perhaps, but people are taking their chances there, and it certainly looks like it's worse going one way than it is going the other. So trying to show you our 3-shot here, the tower cam, Skyfox. Not sure if Skyfox is actively still flying, so what I'm going to do is I am going to, and just as soon as I said that, they moved. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the ADOT camera in there for you. There you go, on the big box, and showing you the current conditions out there as well. I'm trying to look at the graphics. You can see the winds. They're gusting, they're shifting, but it looks like they're mostly going from southwest to northeast is what the winds look like. So it's actually kind of surprising to me that the storm is moving from east to west, but now you get a clearer picture here. The red right there, and even a little bit of purple, is headed into Phoenix, which is where we are here at Fox 10 Phoenix. We are right in the heart of downtown, so it's coming. Everybody, please stay safe out there. Currently have about 470 of you watching on the YouTube stream. Some viewers saying that they are hearing thunder where they are. So thank you all for watching, for trusting us to bring you all the live weather coverage that we can, and we certainly appreciate all of the pictures and videos that you are sending us, but please make sure that you do so, if you're going to get them, that you stay safe. All right, everyone. The Arizona Department of Transportation cameras are moving around. There you go. There's another look. Getting word now, some breaking news out of Mesa. Firefighters are working to rescue a person in his home, 70 years old, near University and Center.
I'm giving you the tweet, which includes video.
All right, the latest from Sky Harbor, everybody, as ADOT works to change the camera view there. They are currently experiencing delays and recommend that travelers and people picking them up or dropping them off confirm the flight status with their airline before going to the airport. ADOT taking to Twitter again to say storm alert. Weather is now threatening the area of I-17 and Deer Valley Road as depicted in this video by ADOT's Mark Trenipole, the statewide road weather manager. And you can see that ADOT camera right there saying high winds, low visibility, slow down. This is monsoon, everyone. We've kind of had some teasers here a little bit earlier on in the season because the calendar, this started June 15th, so a couple weeks ago, and now here it is. I believe I do have video here from Mesa Fire and Medical that I can show you of this rescue. Not quite sure if there's any sound associated with it. It's a very short video, but let's see if we can get it. I believe I do have video in here from Mesa Fire and Medical that I can show you of this rescue. Not quite sure if there's any sound. All right, some double audio there, everybody. Sorry about that, but that was the video from Mesa Fire and Medical. Things getting very serious out there. You can see the ADOT camera there on the left-hand side, I-10 eastbound. This is right before the 143, so this is pretty close to the airport. You see the signal coming in and out. You see the camera shaking pretty well, and traffic is at a standstill on the freeway, just completely stopped as a result of this monsoon storm rolling through the valley. It started in the East Valley in Apache Junction, Gold Canyon, Florence, Queen Creek area, Chandler, Gilbert, and started traveling westbound. Christy Siefkin is tracking this storm for us, everybody, and she was just in the 4 o'clock show that we launched, and now she's preparing for the 5, the 5:30, and then the 6, and we have a 7 o'clock show as well. So that means that Matt Galka is up here joining me on set, and we're going to talk weather. Let me get him all mic'd up. Again, good afternoon or evening, depending on where you're watching Fox News Now from. Currently joined by Matt Galka. Hey.
This is serious stuff.
This is serious stuff, and as a local, I feel like I kind of just like say, oh, monsoon, you know what I mean? But this is the most serious of the storms we've had so far.
Oh yeah, this is monsoon season. This
Right.
is the start of monsoon season. This is what we all think of when we hear monsoon. I was actually just talking to one of our coworkers here today at Fox 10 about how last summer and this summer are so different.
I wasn't here last summer. I was still living in Texas.
So last summer was my first summer here.
Yeah.
June was way, way, way hotter than it was this year. I mean, we had so much more heat, and you kind of got accustomed to it. And I feel like this year we had a more mild June, and then last year's monsoon season was definitely more mild, at least where we are here.
This time in the calendar year, and yeah.
And so now with these storms, and you're showing the storms all over the valley, and especially in the East Valley. This is, and I guess my memory could be short, but this. And now you can hear the rain on top of the
pouring.
roof. You can hear the rain
It's
on
pouring
top
here
of the
at
roof.
Fox 10 Phoenix, everybody.
And we need the rain. Don't get me wrong, we need
Right.
the rain. But for the people who are out on the roads, it's probably a huge shock. Right before, and you can hear the rain now on top of our roof. So I was just up on our roof.
Moments ago.
I'm glad I got in when I did. And so you walk outside, and it was only you could like taste the dust in the air.
Oh
because
man, that's
dust
the
was-
worst.
Yeah. So it was all the dirt in the air, and you could see off in the distance. And I just posted the picture actually to my Twitter at Matt Galka Fox 10 of a panoramic view of downtown. So it was very dusty out, and you could see some lightning in the distance. And now obviously we can hear the rain falling on the roof of Fox 10. It's not a sound we hear too often.
Right.
So
I'm going to try to pull up your tweet here, your panoramic picture, as best I can, because I don't think it'll get me full view here. I'm a little limited, but everybody, nowadays with technology, it seems like everybody's almost a photographer,
Sure.
and but that's pretty good.
There's my amateur photography, and so where we are. I guess we are west of downtown, I guess, or slightly west. If you're looking north, we're a little on the western side of downtown. So we're in this picture. We're looking east, and you can see the ominous clouds obviously coming our way. And now they've gotten here. And again, I'm glad I'm inside and not outside up on the roof where I was, or else I'd be absolutely soaked. But when I started walking in, I had a few raindrops on me. They dried before I got in here, so I apologize. I can't provide the proof on my blue shirt here. But now the rain is definitely here, and this is, I don't know. We got a little bit of rain in June, but this is the first This is the first one of this year that I can really remember.
Matt, I was just talking to Christina, and she's only been here in the Valley for a few weeks, so this is her first experience. And I don't like saying this because I don't want it to sound rude, but like she hasn't experienced it because she's been here working every time we've had like these mini storms hit, and now the big one, we're probably going to refer to it as that for like the rest of monsoon season.
Right.
And I was telling her like they start either on the north, the south, the east, the west, and they hardly ever make it all the way in.
Yeah, to get all the way downtown is
a feat.
Yeah, right. A weather phenomenon here, right? Yeah, downtown we don't really get a lot of this, so it's always interesting. It's interesting to me, and this is going to sound so like I guess local yokel kind of stuff. So I grew up in the Northeast, and we get humidity and you get thunderstorms, and I spent a lot of my career in Florida, and you get thunderstorms every day.
Yep.
And when I moved here, we barely ever get clouds. We don't ever get clouds. It's so dry, but you could tell when there's humidity in the air because we get clouds, and it was always so fascinating to me when we get clouds. And obviously when we get storm clouds or lightning and it rolls in, and I'm always looking up in the sky like, wow, I can't believe this. And so it is fascinating, and I used to be the same way. Why are people freaking out over rain? Oh my God, it's just rain. But when you don't ever see it, especially if you live downtown or you work downtown, it is pretty fascinating. And to see the street, like we have some highway cams that I'm sure you've been showing.
Yep.
To see the highways, drenched in rain is just not right there.
Pretty much at a standstill here.
Right, and you got to be careful, especially if you're not used to driving in the rain. It's real easy when you're not in this to say like, oh my God, they don't know how to drive in the rain. But better safe than sorry, because it's not something we deal with a lot, and especially, I mean, even the dust. The
Right.
dust is the worst part to me, because if you're going full speed ahead into a dust storm, you can't see.
Right.
You really can't see, and unless you've lived here and experienced that or stood in one.
Wow, we just saw lightning there in the ADOT camera.
The visibility is zero. I mean, you know, when you get right into the thick of those things.
Have you ever hydroplaned?
Yeah, and
Me
it's,
too.
it's pretty scary.
It's frightening when you
Yeah.
have no control, because like the water is essentially lifting your tires off the asphalt.
Yeah.
That it's very frightening.
You gotta pump the brakes too. If I remember anything from driver's ed, you pump the brakes. You don't slam on them, you
Right.
pump on.
Right.
And you're pretty helpless at that point.
Christina just brought up a good point though when we were chatting, because we always say pull aside, stay alive. But she's saying if your visibility is like absolutely down, like zero, can't see anything, and you're pulling over to the side of the road, how can you guarantee that somebody else hasn't already pulled over on the side of the road?
I guess that's a very good point. It's a risk I guess you have to kind of take, because it's better than going full speed ahead.
Right.
You know, and but then again, those are the factors that they all play into when you're on the road and these things come in and they
Yeah.
swoop in real quick. I mean, this one, I'm no weather expert. I'm not a meteorologist.
Me
like
neither.
other people here, but just from what we've been covering, we went on the air, I think a little bit early, about an hour ago,
Right.
on Fox 10, and you've been on.
But we have a 4 o'clock now.
Right, our 4 o'clock show, and you've been on FNN, and you know when these were first starting, we were out in Mesa,
Yep.
in Cave Creek, and now they're already here in downtown. So it seems to like it's going decently fast.
Yeah.
But as you can see, it is definitely giving us a good amount of rain here. A much needed rain, to tell you the truth. So right now it's just all about safety, and obviously, and you've probably shown these pictures. I think it was there's a lot of damage in Buckeye from last night.
Yes.
I believe
Overnight.
overnight
Right.
damage. So it's been real humid. You could kind of feel this building.
Yes.
At least I could throughout the day. I don't know.
The second I walked out of my door this morning, I'm like, this is San Antonio. This feels like San Antonio
Yeah.
humidity, and I knew it.
It was very swampy today.
It was a
Like,
1-2 punch today.
Very swampy. So if you're sitting there watching us from wherever you are, and you know how humidity feels, and all of a sudden you live in a dry climate and you're not used to it, you step outside and you're like, whew, I remember this now.
Right.
And today was one of those days where the dew point was, I think, it used to be the definition of, I think we might have lost our cable signal here at the station.
Yeah, and it could be due to the weather, because I think Christy's zooming into the purple here on the Fox Vision radar, and I think that's where we are here at Fox 10 Phoenix.
Yeah, that looks to be right
Pretty
around,
close.
Yep, right around where we are.
Yeah.
And plenty of lightning strikes all throughout the valley.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is definitely a weather. You could call it a weather event.
Yeah, we'll remember this. We'll be talking about this for some time, and I think the worst part about this, I mean, when you see like structure damage, of course that's horrible. You don't want anybody to lose their home or even where they work, but the loss of life is what really hurts us, and we never want to have to report about that at all.
Well, I saw this morning, I think we had Marcy Jones was out that way where there was that damage
In
overnight.
Buckeye, yeah.
And I saw, it looked like one of those mobile homes had fallen onto a car. And the car was crushed, obviously. The roof was ripped off the home, and it was just like nobody got hurt, thank
Right.
God. But it was just so crazy to see that kind of damage. Like, it's not something we're really used to. Because when people talk about Phoenix or Arizona, you know, they're like, oh, we don't get hurricanes, you know, we don't get earthquakes, we don't get tornadoes, really. But, you know, when these monsoons come and you're not used to them, they can pack a punch, obviously.
Yeah.
And every now and then, that's what we see, and that's definitely what we're seeing right now, too. And right now, if anybody was on a flight flying to Phoenix right now, they are just circling.
Or trying to fly out.
Right.
You're grounded.
They're grounded right now. A friend of mine last summer, when a few monsoons last summer rolled in, she was on her way. I think it was back from LA or wherever she was from, or wherever she was flying from. Monsoon hit right around the time she had to land. They were circling
For hours.
For hours, and then they had to land in Vegas.
Aye.
And then they had to fly back. So it's
Oh, I can smell the rain now. And you know what's crazy, Matt? Looking at this right now, what's up on the stream, the winds are going from the southwest to the northeast, but this storm is rolling from east to west. And like, it's so confusing.
Yeah, that stuff, I mean, our meteorologists are much smarter than I am when it comes to this kind of stuff. That doesn't make sense to me when the winds are blowing that way. And
Our lights are flickering here, everyone. And
people in the newsroom are definitely freaking out about that.
is there, but something else? Is there possibly a leak?
Oh, is there a water leak over there? All
Yeah,
right,
we have a water leak in our newsroom, everyone.
leak.
So you just talk about everything else going on as well. So it's, I mean, this is it. It happens every summer. You know, I've been doing this. I've been on FNN now. I love how you call it that, by the way. I'm trying to coin that.
FNN, Fox News Now, right?
Fox News
Did I
Now.
get that right? I just
Yeah.
want to make sure I got it right.
That's how I like to call it, refer to it as. But you know, there's another like major network that's pretty similar in name. So I don't know if it's gonna catch on that quickly.
Okay.
But
Okay.
you know, native, moved away for 5 years and haven't really experienced monsoon in a while. But a lot of viewers, they're trying to guess like my birthday, and I will admit I'm a summer birthday. So monsoon's very near and dear to my heart in terms of like when the weather hits.
August
close
13th.
to my birthday. My birthday?
Yeah.
No.
And was I close?
No.
Oh. All right. Well, I'll keep guessing, I guess.
But we talk about them. It's probably what you'd probably say only severe activity hits a couple weeks, a month. What do you say?
Really, I'm just comparing it to last summer, and this I know for a fact did not happen that often last summer.
Right.
I mean, to hear the water rushing over our building right now is something that I don't think I've ever been in the newsroom for.
Right.
You know, whether it happened overnight or I was out and about, but like to hear this storm hitting is like, this sounds like back when I was in Florida.
Are you glad that you're not out in the field per se?
You know, it's easy for me to say, yeah, I'm really glad that I'm dry right now, but at the same time, like, chasing weather can be pretty exciting. It's pretty, you know, it's crazy stuff as long as people are staying safe. And that's what it's all about too is, you know, if you're at home right now and you were to watch all this and you were planning on going somewhere and then you're like, oh, no, I'm good. You know, you look at I can wait. And we're coming up on quitting time for a lot of people at 5 o'clock. So I don't, you know, if you're in the East Valley, I guess it already moved through. If you're downtown, you're like, okay, I guess I could stay at work for a little while longer while it passes through.
And it does. It impacts your life. It makes you change. Like, hey, I'm not going to go to the grocery store. Hey, I can't go get gas after work. Hey, I got to sit around and wait. Maybe clock some overtime. It changes the way that you function because you're like, well, I don't want to sit in that traffic. I don't want to be risk, you know, getting stuck in the storm. And it's not over. It started an hour ago, pretty much.
And that's the radar you just pulled up right there, right?
Right there.
Yeah. And
look.
Yeah, you can see right over the heart of Phoenix right now, the darkest colors right there, the darkest red. And still some rain. It looks like some rain is still behind it there. Obviously, look, again, I'm not a meteorologist, I'm not an expert, but I know the darker the color, the usually the more intense the storm is.
Yeah.
So it looks like there's still, you know, east of us in Scottsdale, Tempe, they're still getting rain, it looks like, but as you can see from that radar, right over the heart of Phoenix right now, right over us in downtown. So yeah, we're getting the brunt of this right now.
Yeah, and I'm getting, I think, some additional tweets and other stuff sent to me. I'm trying to pay attention here. Huge team effort here at Fox 10 Phoenix, by the way, to produce Fox News Now. It's not just me and Mike Pace, just because we're the hosts. You know, we have you guys come up all the time and help us, and then the web team sends us tweets and everything else. SRP, of course, outages as a result of the storm. They're saying please use the outage map to check for updates and restoration times. So I'm trying to see if we can get exactly how many people are without power right now. We're looking that up. Meanwhile, ADOT just switched cameras again on us there. They're showing us. I'm trying to find out exactly this location. That's State Route 51 northbound, south of Highland. So this is North Phoenix. North Phoenix getting hit as well.
Can you pull it? You can try and pull up that map. They're not going to give us the totals, it doesn't look like, but you can see definitely Phoenix, Tempe, Gilbert, Chandler. If you can see on the map. That's a lot of people without power. Those are a lot of reported outages right now. Phoenix, east of us, Tempe, Scottsdale, Gilbert.
Is one color worse than another? Because I'm unfamiliar with this.
North of Gilbert, and let's see.
It's okay. You can click around. I've taken it off the air. So.
Okay.
Oh. All right, so we're clicking through the Srp outage map here.
So all of these look like, I mean, with the map, the purple ones are 1,000 people plus without power.
So purple's the worst.
Yeah, purple's the worst, red, yellow. But if you look at the map, bring the map back up right there.
Yeah, there we go. That's perfect. There we
When you
go.
look at the map, that's a lot of purple, and each one of those purple
Equals 1,000 customers.
at least 1,000 plus, and then red 500, yellow 100 to 500.
So there's easily, what would you say, 10,000 at minimum?
Yeah, there's thousands of people without power right now, or reporting outages or that are being affected by this storm. Hopefully, they're quick. Hopefully, they can get those people back with power real quick. The thing about these storms here too is that the rain comes in and it cools things down a little bit, but it's still humid, it's still muggy, and it's still hot. It was still over 100 degrees today here in Phoenix.
Right.
So it's still hot out there. So if you don't have power, it's not cool outside.
Correct. It cools it off, but not a lot.
Yeah, right. Not as much as you think. And look, I'm not up here with you a lot. I just want to give you a little shout out. You are running a lot of stuff up here that I don't understand. All I have to do is come up here and talk. You're like, Howard Stern on the radio, like running switchers.
I feel bad though, because I'm like, I reach over people all the time. I'm like, excuse me, sorry, like armpit, like my bad.
Fine. You're working hard up there. Here.
I mean, this is the most significant weather activity since I moved back here from San Antonio in November. Like you said, you guys didn't really see anything like this last year.
Here's what it says right here: close to 49,000 SRP customers without power.
That's serious.
49,000 people. That's a lot of people. And again, it is muggy. It is hot still here, even though it is raining. And there's still plenty of rain going on above us. There's still...
Due to power outages, ADOT is saying you may see traffic signals in flash on parts of SR 347 that's in between here in Maricopa and the US 60 and Broadway in Apache Junction. Please treat those as four-way stops. A lot of people don't know.
No, and no, they don't. And so that's always one of to me, the most tricky, frustrating things is when people, if you have a signal out, there are a lot of people who will just blow right through it, which is dangerous.
Right.
And I know it seems kind of annoying that you have to stop every time, but that's what you gotta do. You gotta treat it as a four-way stop. You defer to the right, and whoever got there first, you just treat it that way and be courteous to other drivers, because everybody wants to be safe. You don't want to get into a car accident while you're out there trying to deal with all this weather.
Yeah, this is a video that was sent to us from an assignment editor earlier. I want to show, just look at that wind. And I guess in a good way, living in the desert for a monsoon, you get warning at least because the dust normally comes first.
Yeah.
But so many times already, it's getting worse here above us at the station, everybody. But so many times though, you're like, okay, well, here's the dust. Is rain really going to come now afterwards?
Well, like you said before, downtown, we usually don't get it a lot. It usually does not make its way there a lot. So it's always interesting when it does. Now, when I was out here before the rain came, you could still feel the wind with that dust. You could see that, like I said, you could taste the dust before. So when I was out before all the rain started dropping here in downtown, it was very windy, and that's obviously what kicks the dust up. I'll be perfectly honest. The thing that it's not the rain or the thunder or the lightning that scares me the most. To tell you the truth, it is like valley fever and the dust. And if you're not familiar with valley fever, it's what you can get because
my dad's had it.
Right, and it's not fun. I mean, it's like the flu. And valley fever you get by you got to get pretty unlucky, but obviously all the dust and the sand that's blowing throughout the air when you see all these dust storms, that's all like contaminated soil. That's not good. So a lot of people get pretty sick from valley fever. So that's always my main concern.
Matt, if you need to go, just wrap me up here. Let me know. I'm taking you out live though to the scene. Everybody watching on the stream of looks like a downed tree on a home in Mesa. I believe this is Rick Davis out there. I'm going to see if I can get him to call in, perhaps get a live report on the scene, but let me try to listen into his ground camera there. hard here at the station.
Just came up on IFB 6.
All right, everyone, so this is actually here at the station. The camera looks pretty dark. We can't see exactly what's going on out there. And it's raining pretty good. It looks like nighttime out there, everybody. That's what's making it so difficult. But look, we already have flooding in our own parking lot. Matt, can you see it?
Can't wait to walk out there.
Look, right here, right now. This is live. This is outside of Fox 10 Phoenix station, and you're getting up IFB, I think, so you can listen to us. And remember, we're here on the web. We're on YouTube. You know, we're on Facebook, we're on obviously all the social media platforms, but we're also on TV right now.
That's right.
It's currently 5 o'clock. Even though we have lost our cable system here in the newsroom, we can't watch what's going on Fox 10 right now. We know that we are on air, and we've got everybody covered with this coverage. They can trust us, you know, whether it's Fox News Now or Fox 10 Phoenix. We've got everybody covered. I'm trying to pull up the broadcast if I can here on set, because normally I can watch what we have on TV.
Well, one of the good things too is if you were watching at home and you might have lost power and you still have cell phone battery or anything like that, you can still pull us up and be informed, obviously, as these pretty severe storms move throughout the valley.
All right, Matt, we're going to be able to take our broadcast here, so let me pull our mics down really quick.
So the strong height, or the height of these thunderstorms, not as tall as earlier, but still pretty impressive, about 40,000 feet in the air. The really heaviest rain is falling from about 10,000 feet down to the ground, and the winds gusty. Not a ton of hail with this event, but we do have a lot of lightning. I'm going to turn the map flat for you so you can see where all that lightning is hitting, and actually turn this on a loop. Watch the rain come in, and then watch all of that lightning moving across the northeast corner of Loop 101, across 5117 into downtown, and of course into Sky Harbor. As we heard on that call earlier, flights being grounded. I mean, it's just a rumble here on the roof of Fox 10 studio, and I imagine for a lot of you at home, that's the case as well.
A lot of people are without power right now. Let's take a look right now at the SRP map, and really it's primarily in the East Valley. You can see it's not super easy to see this, but you can see all those squares in the red.
And each of those is a separate little outage with times. For example, this area that I pulled up right now is Longmore to Center, Maine to Superstition and Mesa. 3 hours is going to be before they restore the power. That's 1,500 people roughly. And you mentioned it's East Valley, but this storm is just hitting downtown, and now it's moving westward. We will see many more power outages. You cannot have 60, 70 mile an hour winds without seeing issues with the power.
And all the rain. I mean, the rain will cause it too.
So we're going to continue to follow that, but be prepared. There could be power outages if you're getting a lot of wind.
Let's check in with Rick Davis. He's on the ground. Wow. We have trees down.
That's a big old
Rick,
tree.
Where are you?
Yeah. John, we're at roughly University and Center in Mesa, where this tree has come down on this home. One person transported with minor injuries. They were rescued by Mesa Fire Department. And actually with me here, I have Forrest Smith with the Mesa Fire Department. He's going to give us a quick rundown as to what exactly happened. Forrest, just kind of give us a rundown of what happened with this rescue.
Okay, well, as everybody knows, at about 4 o'clock, we had heavy storms move through the East Valley here. All of a sudden, we had a large tree that your viewers see here that came right down into this home. Most of the family had gotten out, but then told us that there was an older family member who was still inside. At that point, we went ahead and responded out with a technical rescue crew, which included crews from Tempe Fire. And those crews all got together. We got here, devised a plan, worked our way in, found that our patient was responsive. She was very alert with minor injuries. Ended up cutting our way out, went through the trees and the such, and were able to get her out safely.
John, carried a miraculous rescue here during this monsoon storm.
Yeah,
I mean,
she's lucky.
think about if that tree had fallen a little bit, 6-10 feet one direction, it could have been even worse.
When we're talking about this kind of wind event, Christy mentioned that at Sky Harbor, a gust over 70 miles an hour. We're going to get more and more reports of this kind of thing happening as we learn about it. Let's check in with Nicole Garcia right now. She's in downtown Phoenix in the middle of it.
It looks like your umbrella umbrella's not going to hold up for long with the winds.
Yeah. So you guys.
All right, everyone. We currently have our Ty Brennan watching the weather here in downtown Phoenix. I'm going to pull him up. He's on the phone right now.
And it just really enveloped all of downtown Phoenix. We're outside as we speak, just outside of our Fox 10 studios right here near 7th Street in Washington. I'm looking at the traffic right now. The center lanes are okay, but if you go to the sides, on either side where the roads kind of slope down a little bit, you can see we're starting to see some localized flooding here. We're also seeing some thunder, and as you can probably hear in the building as well right now, a lot of thunder as well out here in the studio. It doesn't seem to impede traffic from what I can tell here in the downtown Phoenix area, but as you can imagine, this is going to be very slow going. As we've talked to ADOT multiple times, this is when the roads are the slickest and the most dangerous because, you know, we have been so dry. Those roads really collect a lot of the oil and debris from our tires, and then as soon as it gets wet, it gets so slick. So obviously you're just going to want to take your time getting around no matter where you are, if it's downtown Phoenix or if you're on one of the many highways around the valley.
Yeah, Ty, it took me a little bit to pull up your audio there. I'm sorry about that, but whereabouts here in downtown are you again?
We're right outside of our studio here in downtown Phoenix, right at 7th Avenue in Washington, and so we're just kind of watching the traffic here. Okay. And as I mentioned, it doesn't really seem to be impeding a lot, just maybe some localized flooding by some of the gutters and some of the low-lying areas around the station, but as far as the main roads are concerned, probably it's not too bad as of right now.
Though I see Nicole out there, and our own parking lot looks pretty bad.
Yeah, our own parking lot here in the Fox 10 hasn't been faring as well, but it looks like a lot of the main roads, thankfully, is doing just fine.
Hey, Ty, it's Matt Gelka here in studio. How are you?
Good.
To me, like, this is only my second summer here, but you've been here long.
Oh, wow. Do you hear that, you guys?
Yeah, we heard
This is right over us here downtown.
Is that you seen a light show out there with all the lightning?
Yeah, it's a beautiful light show, but it's a little too close for comfort out here.
Oh, I bet. Now, to me, this is one of the bigger ones I can remember that have hit us in downtown Phoenix. I mean, at least in recent memory.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I was trying to rack my brain. It was about 2 years ago. We had a really strong cell move through downtown Phoenix, and I was reporting live. This one hit during the evening hours, and we had a lot of flooding right there at 19th Avenue and the I-10. But you're right. We usually see these storms skirt right around downtown Phoenix. They always go to the north of us or to the east. But this one has just been a direct bullseye right over downtown Phoenix. We're taking a direct hit today.
And being the great reporter you are, I'm sure you always have your rain boots. You always have your slicker ready, right?
You know what? Today was one of those days where I was like driving to work and I thought, you know what? I don't have anything with me in case they send me out in the rain. And so unfortunately, I'm a little under-prepared for the monsoon. But trust me, mark my words, tonight I'll be putting everything in the trunk to make sure that I'm prepared.
Oh, 100%. And now, is it still coming down out there?
It is, yeah, it's really coming down. I'm watching one of our security guards here. He's taking his shoes off to get through a little bit of the localized flooding that's here in our parking lot right now. But yeah, it is definitely still coming down, and the light show out here is incredible. And you can probably hear the thunder in our building as well. We've been seeing a lot of lightning, a lot of thunder out here in downtown Phoenix.
Well, I was telling Pilar, it's so odd to hear rain hit the roof of our studio. It just doesn't sound,
it's not a usual sound.
No, not at all.
We're not familiar with it.
We're used to being in the desert, so when you see this and hear this, it's pretty incredible to see.
All right, Ty Brennan, thanks so much, and we have full team coverage here in the monsoon. We'll talk to you later. All right, Matt. So this is in front of the station.
Well, you can hear it in Ty's when he was on his phone. There, you can hear the thunder through the phone, and how it kind of got a little startled. You see the lightning, you hear the thunder. So it really is a sight to see right outside of our studio. And again, we're 5:10 right now, local time, quitting time for a lot of people.
Yes.
So a lot of people downtown in some of our high rises and whatnot, they're probably getting out of work, and hopefully they brought their umbrella. Hopefully hopefully they brought their rain boots, because it, as you just heard from Ty, as you can see from some of the pictures out there, it is coming down. This is not just a sprinkle. This is a severe weather event.
Right. And we have such team coverage. Like normally, I can record two things at once. I can record our program and I can record something else as like a backup. And we've had just so many different live pictures throughout the valley. It's not easy keeping tabs on it all and be able to show it all. It looks like our crew here is actually driving back towards Phoenix.
I actually don't know where they are on that driving shot. It looks to be a little drier.
68 maybe, and Superstition Springs Boulevard. So yeah, that's on the east side. So that's where it started. And then I think they're coming back to Phoenix. I think they're traveling west right here on the 60.
They'd be traveling west toward where the storm is.
They're essentially following it now.
It started out further in the East Valley and swept right through. We saw earlier, I don't know if you could bring...
Matt, I don't mean to interrupt you. Sorry. Yeah, Rick Davis is up. He's dialed in, and let's get an update from him there in Mesa.
Hey, Pilar, yeah, so we are at this house that there was a rescue here. Obviously, you see this large tree that just slammed into the home. Several people inside, one person transported that was hit as this tree fell into it right around University and Center in Mesa. So they had to do a technical rescue. Mesa Fire did at the height of this storm to get that person out, transported to the hospital. What you're looking at here is this very large tree. I'll kind of give you just how big the root of this tree is, and you can just see what how the damage just came right into this house and smashed in. I'm trying to get us an interview with Forrest Smith with the Mesa Fire. He's doing an interview right now, and he'll come over in just a second.
Well, I tell you, we're going to be
Yeah, it just uprooted from the force of that wind and just right through the home, and just, I mean, this is total destruction of this house. I don't know. I'm assuming they won't be able to come in this home for some while, Matt.
Oh, what they did is they just went through the front door and they ended up cutting through sort of the center. Oh, thank you. You got it.
Common after a hurricane, but here in Phoenix, in the valley, that's crazy to see.
Yeah, and just, coming down the 101 toward Mesa when this thing was hitting, I can tell that this storm would do a lot of damage. And man, actually, we have Forrest Smith is going to give us an update and tell us what they did to come in and rescue this lady. Come on in, Forrest. Tell us what happened here.
Okay, well, about 4 o'clock, as we know, there's a great deal of storm activity going on here throughout the valley. Here in the East Valley, we had a great deal of rain. All of a sudden, as it started to clear and go on, we started getting calls for different types of calls. But this call that came in about a tree in a home, of course, gets anybody's attention. So at this point, we dispatched a technical rescue team, which not only included our department, but we got support from Tempe Fire as well. They came out with the technical rescue team. Working together, we were able to get to the scene here to find that we had a patient in her 70s who was, of course, stuck in this part of her home where the tree fell in. So we had to go through, cut through some of the structural members of the home itself, as well as this large tree, to be able to get to her. Fortunately, her other family members got out safely. She was in great spirits. We got her out. She had some minor injuries, and of course we wanted to transport her to the hospital to make sure that there's nothing serious going on.
Okay, Matt, so Forrest has given us, the latest on the victim and the family that escaped this tree that fell during the height of the monsoon storm.
Because obviously when you look at that tree, how big it is, just uprooted right through the center of that house, if there were only minor injuries, that is nothing short of pure luck or a miracle, really, that the person was not that seriously hurt.
Yeah, and maybe I'll ask Forrest, when you guys do a rescue like this, how do you assess to go in to make sure that the home is stable from all this damage?
Well, there's several things we do. We have a safety crew that's here. Basically, their job is to assess the whole scene. They'll do a 360, essentially walk around the building, make sure that there's no down power lines, basically do an assessment of whatever hazards here. We obviously sadly assume that there are going to be certain hazards, so they'll look for those things would include electrical power lines, such. So once they go through and determine that we can safely go in, in, we start going in also with equipment to shore up the place, essentially creating areas for us to be able to support some of the down structure. And that way, once we build our own boxes, if you will, we essentially create our own structural support as we're going in if necessary. And then from there, as we're going through, we assess each cut, we assess each time we move something. Everything's always looked at. We always have to take a look ahead to say, if we've moved this part, what will happen to this structure. So this is done slowly, calculated, and of course, keeping the patient in mind and watching and assessing how they're doing as well. So this is all done by a team of people who are then doing everything with calculated risk in mind as well.
So Mike, there you go. Mesa Fire did a great job of rescuing this lady from this home and the family members, and everyone's safe, but the home is a total destruction here, you can see.
Is there any way you could please ask him, like, is this the worst? Is this the brunt of the damage going on in Mesa right now, or is Mesa Fire Crews currently at any other scene?
Yeah, so that's a good question. I know Forrest is working his phone here. Any other damages that you guys have to tend with during this storm?
Well, so far we haven't gotten any calls. We know that we are also working an incident in the canal with a car in the canal, so that information's still pending. And then, of course, we're going to have to do an assessment. We'll get calls to many of our crews out there where people will come outside. They'll maybe start assessing what they have. But our big concern right now is being able to assess whether or not people have been hurt or injured. From that point, we'll have to work with our neighborhood services and other departments to be able to work with those folks and the cities as well to determine how cleanup operations will work. But at this point, our goal is, of course, make sure that people are free of injury and getting hurt.
Pilar, they're all over it. They're ready for the monsoon in Mesa.
Yeah, this is a yearly thing. So.
And Rick, what are the conditions out there right now?
Oh, you know, it's cleared up. There's a light drizzle, if you will. The wind, as you can see from the trees, has stopped. It's not that fast-moving wind. There was a little bit of lightning and thunder going around, but not in this area. So, and actually, if you look toward the east, you can see a little bit of the sky.
Hopefully those firefighters stay safe. It looks like the brunt of it has already moved through.
Okay, Mike, Matt, thanks. Pilar.
All right, so that's our Rick Davis there on the scene, and I guess that's a little bit of good news because we were hearing some serious damage to a mobile home park out there in Mesa, and Forrest Smith there at Mesa Fire Medical saying, hey, we're working a couple things, but it's not as serious as it could have been.
Yeah, that looks, I mean, obviously that house right there, that looks pretty bad. He mentioned there was a car into a canal. Again, that's one of those things when you're driving and you might not be used to these conditions. We talked about hydroplaning before. We don't know what exactly would happen, but there are a lot of dangers, of course, when you're on the road. So it looks like, well, Rick even said it, you know, they are prepared for these kind of things. But, you know, they don't know what's going to happen until it happens. So it seems like they're all over it when they are getting these calls coming in.
One of the things I love about, you know, working for News Now is that we literally, like, hold up to our name. Like, it's instantaneous. A lot of people don't understand, you know, it's an unscripted show. It's live, it's raw, it's unedited. The second a live feed comes up, we're able to take it. We take you there to the scene as quickly as possible. And we always, you know, cross our fingers essentially and hope for the best when we have to go to the serious news stories such as, you know, weather coverage like this, because you never know what you can get when you get to the scene.
Well, I think it's just amazing that only had minor injuries, and you heard Forrest talk about how they had to go in there and assess the structure. I've done stories before in the past where it's not one of those things you think about. You think that tree is through the house and they got to get in there, but when they start cutting or they start getting in there could be in danger too.
Exactly.
So setting up those, you know, they set up those mini boxes to make sure the house stood while they were trying to go save the person who lived there. It's all quite amazing. It's a well-oiled machine. They have it down to a science, and you know, they prepare and they train and they drill for this kind of stuff. So obviously when a tree like that huge tree that uprooted and destroyed that house, when that does happen, they're ready to go. So it's always great to hear that even though that looks really bad, there was only minor injuries. And you know, I know this is cliche, I hear it from every public official whenever I do any storm coverage. You know, you can replace a car, you can replace a house, you can't replace a life.
Yep.
So it's always great that when these things only have minor injuries, that's always good to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. Taking a look at a weather-related video here in just a moment, I believe, still there live on the scene in Mesa. And look, you can see someone taking a picture there at the scene where Rick is. Remember, we continue getting viewer pictures, videos in. I just saw a video out of just hearing, I just saw actually a video from our executive producer here showing us a trampoline blowing around in someone's backyard. So minor damage, heavy damage such as this one. I mean, a tree on a house. Right, exactly.
That wind is no joke. Look where we just changed the camera angle. You can see the roots of that tree just come right up out of the ground. Obviously, the ground's very dry anyway.
Right.
I mean, we're in a drought. So when you get some wind, it's I'm not saying it's easy to topple these trees, but you can see just how strong that wind was.
Yeah.
And again, just uprooting and of course falling in the worst possible place, which is right on that person's home.
And Carrie Lake just said it on air, like, that's an old tree. That's some pretty deep roots there. So it just shows you the magnitude of how strong these storms really are.
And I will say back here at the studio, the sound of the rain on the roof has, before it sounded like it was flooding up there, It was just constant, but that has subsided a little, I guess, as this storm continues to move through. We're going to take...
Whoa, I don't know where this is exactly, and we just switched from Rick's shot, but you heard me gasp there, and that's because this looks pretty serious. I'm trying to figure out if this is live, everybody, and Matt, sorry to interrupt you. Okay, so this is our Fox 10 program right now. They're showing some video from when this storm first rolled through. So this isn't live video right now, but it shocked me because I do have the program up as a source, and I saw it, and I was like, wow. Because for those who have never experienced a dust storm, this is it. Here we go. Steve Kraft is live. Let's try to pull him up, everybody.
Anything, and you have to really lean backwards so that you don't get blown over. I don't want to do that on live television.
Steve, you're going to get, this is going to be dust and then rain.
No, don't turn around because it's coming at you fast.
There's going to be rain here, Steve, in a little bit.
So this is the area to remind people, this is the area that had a downburst last night, and now they're getting kind of a double whammy here with the dust and the storm moving in.
Yeah. Just moments ago, it was beautiful and sunny, and I really don't want to be clocked by a piece of debris at this point.
Yeah, maybe you should get, I just wanted to see how,
pretty dicey.
I cannot believe how fast it is. You maybe should get into a cover, Steve. Look how fast that wind is coming.
Yeah, great idea.
Yeah, Steve, do what you got to do. I want to remind people. I want to remind people while we're looking at Steve's picture, and let Steve take a little cover out there. Sky Harbor. Average delay is 40 minutes. There are over 100 flights that have been impacted today and grounded because of this moving through. So Sky Harbor got pounded. There was a wind gust out there at 71 miles an hour.
Where Steve is right now, I don't know if we can go back to that shot. He was almost getting blown over. It's close to 50-mile-an-hour winds in Goodyear right now. And look at it, 99 degrees. It's gonna drop about 20 degrees.
Yeah, look at the temperature drop. Apache Junction in the 70s, Scottsdale 74, Deer Valley 73. Amazing.
Yeah, guys, big temperature difference thanks to all of that rain. Earlier, Deer Valley reporting 71 degrees, and we were looking at 106 degrees in Goodyear. So the rain helping to cool things down. It's great for our drought, but obviously the dust on the front side of that boundary moving through creates really dangerous conditions. Poor Steve, such a trooper out there for us, taking the dust in the mouth, in the face. Very gusty winds out there as well. Here's a look at current gusts across the board. They are not quite as high as earlier, but these are still very serious and can do a whole lot of damage. 46-mile-an-hour gusts in Glendale as well as in Goodyear. Sky Harbor, John mentioned that gust we saw 71 miles an hour earlier. That's when we saw a cell right over the downtown area, and we saw large-sized hail. Now it's down to 25 miles an hour. Thankfully, much quieter in the East Valley. That's where we started to see the cell move in a little bit earlier. Rain continuing to fall on radar, and I want to step out of the picture here and kind of move the map around for you because the heart of this storm, we are still seeing very, very heavy rain. The bulk of the rain that was in the Southeast Valley is starting to wrap up a little bit, but the West Valley now bearing the brunt of it. Along Loop 101, if you're traveling anywhere on the west side of Loop 101, particularly that junction with 60, be prepared for some isolated flooding. The rain moving through Peoria, down Loop 101, and as we look to the west side of Loop 101, extending all the way to 303, this is where we're seeing some of the heaviest rain at this hour. Lightning, of course, another factor with this system. Turn on the loop and you can see just a mess of the lightning filling the sky, lighting up the sky over the past few hours. Now let's take a look at estimated rainfall totals so far, because they're significant in many locations. Let me go ahead and turn that on for you. You can see in the past couple hours the rain spreading across the Southeast Valley and some of the areas with the heaviest rainfall through parts of Fountain Hills, parts of Mesa, and downtown Phoenix. I'm just curious, in the past half hour, 45 minutes that we've seen that rain move through Phoenix, what we're seeing in terms of rainfall totals. Estimated 1.2 inches of rain just north of I-10. We go into the heart of downtown Phoenix area, about 0.7 inches of rain. Moving up to Fountain Hills, one of the other places that saw very heavy rain earlier, as well as Rio Verde. As you click on the center of this particularly strong cell, almost 2 inches of rain that has fallen thus far. So I'll be keeping an eye on this and giving you updates about watches and warnings in just a couple of minutes here.
Okay,
Right.
Christy,
Isn't
what
it
a day.
amazing to see how it was clear and sunny where Steve was, and then that.
All right. We both worked in TV for a while. And
I'm actually still pretty shocked over what we just saw from Steve Kraft.
Yeah.
You guys saw that before. He looked like he was in a movie scene.
Yeah.
I mean, that was, and he had just said it in his live shot, and I feel really bad for Steve because he's out there. Obviously, when these storms roll through, you don't get a lot of warning. So he was out there. He was saying it was sunny not too long ago, and then when you saw him live, that dust was blowing. The dust is in front of the rain, in front of the thunder and the lightning, and it out there in Goodyear, Buckeye. Right now, it's still 100, 101 degrees.
right, and you saw the wind gusts at 46. I'm recording. I've been recording our whole coverage here since we started. So let's replay where Steve is. This is no longer live, but the second his live picture came up, I was like, where is that and what is happening? Let's listen. So this was right before he goes live. I think he's going to step in here in just a moment, or we're going to hear the broadcast, one of two. Look at this. Look at this dust just whipping through there. You can hardly see the road. And it looks like he's in like a country area, like, you know, where...
Yeah, out there in Goodyear, Buckeye area. But
a lot of farms.
Yeah, very rural out there. Not like here in downtown, obviously. But it's that scene right there, again, if you're not used to it, that's what it's like to be in one of those dust storms. We've been talking about it all day. Imagine trying to drive in that. So Steve is trying to do his report out in that. And when he eventually steps into the frame here, you're going to see that wind kind of whipping him around and whipping his hair around for sure, and his clothing. It's not obviously a fun place to be. So especially if you live here and you are driving out in that, or you're getting out of work and you have to try and battle that, is just not a good idea. It's just crazy to see. So Steve steps in right here, and you can see that wind. Look at that wind whipping his shirt around, whipping his hair around, and obviously it's tough to see with that dust blowing everywhere. It is not a fun position to be in when you're in that.
We really are one big family here at Fox 10 Phoenix. You know, we all care for each other and look out for each other, and so I didn't even know that this was Steve's live shot. So the second I saw him walk in a frame here, I was actually a little worried.
Yeah, and you know, he did obviously everything he could. He was standing out there for as long as you can, but we obviously cut the live shot, so he and his cameraman, I believe he's out there with Brian Kay, so they can actually take some cover as this storm rolls through. And you mentioned the gusts. On air, John Hook said Sky Harbor got a 70-mile-per-hour gust. It looked like it was gusting around 50 miles per hour where Steve was, 46, I think we saw. And, that's dangerous stuff. Steve said it in his live shot. He's like, I don't want to get hit by anything.
Flying debris.
Any flying debris. So that is not a very fun position to be in. And you see that dust, and you see how how hard it's blowing. Again, look at the sleeves of his
It's
shirt.
hard to talk
Yes.
because you're not just getting dust and dirt like in your mouth, but it's physically hard to like open your mouth when the wind is whipping that hard.
Absolutely, and it's it's tough position to be in. So more obviously, thank you to Steve Kraft for being out there and getting us that. But when you look at that is. Like I said,
that's zero visibility.
Right. That is, you don't want to be driving in that. You don't want to be walking in that.
Right.
And like I said, that
don't want your pets in it.
No, not at all. You want to. When this stuff comes through, you just want to hunker down for a little bit. And again, we saw the temperatures were 101, but Scottsdale, where the storm already rolled through, it was in the 70s. So they're gonna get a temperature drop here. They're probably experiencing all this storm right now, so they're getting the brunt of it. What we just experienced here in the studio when we heard that thunder, where we had the lights flicker a little bit.
Yeah.
So this is again, this is to cover this amount of mileage here in the valley.
Because I don't know, even as a native, I don't know how many square miles like the valley is.
But when we always talk about it, these monsoon storms might pop up in the West Valley or they might pop up in the East Valley, but they never get to downtown. Right. This one popped up in the East Valley, has hit downtown.
Blanketed the whole, now is on the west side.
Now is on the west side. So this is a strong, moving storm, and obviously when it got to us, it was still pretty strong. So it doesn't seem like it's weakening per se, but like I did say at the beginning, here we are. It's 5:30 now.
Right.
We went on air at 4 or on TV anyway.
Yeah.
When this was out in the East Valley, so this is pretty quick moving.
Yes.
In my opinion, not my non-meteorologist
right.
opinion. But it's quick moving, but it's packing a punch.
So this was one of our first crews we sent out. We immediately sent them out to like East Mesa, AJ area, because we knew it was coming in from the east. We said, get out now, get out there, get what you can. And now they're driving back to the station. So they're driving west on I-10, and it's still raining. Still raining out there. Obviously, probably not as bad as it was when they first got out there, if they were east and now they're heading west. As they get through the city and west of downtown Phoenix, where we just saw Steve Kraft, it's obviously the worst of it is out there. Yeah.
So it's still raining, not as bad as it was, which is good. When we were talking to Rick Davis earlier, we saw that tree down in Mesa. He was saying the wind had calmed down, and if you look even east of Mesa, you can see the sun. Right. So behind this storm, as it moves east to west, it seems like it's decent weather behind it. It's usually, when storms move through, that's usually what happens. But if you're in it right now, especially if you're in the West Valley, you are getting that brunt of it right now.
You know what surprises me is growing up, I only had a single friend. I grew up in Mesa, a single friend who had a basement in his house. And when you see dust storms like that and you see trees falling on homes, it makes you wonder why more valley homes don't have basements. It's like the Wizard of Oz, right? When you get in the basement when the tornadoes coming through. Yeah. We had a storm cellar up in the Northeast too, but when I was in Florida for 5 years, obviously you have a lot of hurricanes. Yep. But Florida is a very not to get too technical here, but Florida is a very the earth is very holy. You get a lot of sinkholes down there. Yeah. So you don't have a lot of basements in Florida because you just sinkhole, right? Vulnerability. And out here, as dry as that ground gets, and as minimal as we get these really big storms, I don't know. I guess the need isn't there, but I'm with you. And when you got to hunker down, right? You want to get out of the way of these bad storms, right? Because the best bet, I think, our shot. No, it froze up there for a second. I think our best bet now, our best defense now, is we tell people go to your bathrooms. Get between the door frame is what I always when I was a kid growing up, and there would be a strong storm. You get between the door frame, and you just sort of hope for the best. When we saw that tree in Mesa, that's one of those things, and I always think about this when I cover a story and I interview somebody. It's not like you can sit in your house and think, okay, I'm going to do this, this, and this if a tree falls, because you're just not going to know. It just sort of comes through the house, you know? And it's not something you can prepare for. You just sort of have to hope for the best. So I think I have that tree picture back. And by the way, this looks like this is regular rush hour Phoenix traffic, everybody. It doesn't look like this is storm related, but I'm going to keep up our driving camera there while I show you that video from down in Mesa. And so there's the tree on the right hand side. And even though the monsoon is an annual event, and we changed that. We've changed it to its set start date on June 15th. Right. But when I was growing up, it was like 3 days the dew point had to hit.
Over 55.
Right, for 3 days in a row, and then that was the official start.
And actually, I believe I was reading an article about this just today. I believe with today's dew point, that would have been our 3rd consecutive day over 55.
Right.
So the start of monsoon and the start of monsoon, you know, the seasonal date, were kind of close this year.
Yeah.
As I mentioned last summer, I don't think it was like that. We didn't have these consecutive humid days, but today, as you mentioned before, when you were going into work, when I left my house to come into work, you can feel the humidity today.
It was brewing. You could tell.
Yeah, you could tell that dew point for sure. And you know, I'm no expert, but I know a lot of our female coworkers with the hair. You get the
my
frizzy
hair,
frizzy hair, and that's just stuff that you don't have to deal with on your typical dry day here in Arizona.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of factors that go into being able to tell. But I mean, you left your house today, and you can just feel the moisture in the air and the stickiness in the air.
Yeah, I think this is our tower cam now on South Mountain, and you can still see all the clouds and a little bit of dust lingering.
Yeah.
You can see, is that 7th Street?
That's 7 from South.
Where all the headlights are.
I
think that's because that's downtown, so I think that's 7th Street to the right where all the headlights are.
Yeah, to the east. Yeah.
By Chase Field.
7th Street. Yep.
Yeah.
7th Street going north or looking north, or where all the lights are. That looks. I mean, still, obviously, it looks like a gloomy day out there, hazy day. But that looks a lot better than what it looked like an hour ago, with all those dark clouds that were right over the top of downtown.
The ADOT cam even too. Like nobody's pulled over on the side of the road anymore. Like you still see the wet pavement. But other than that, things look like they're somewhat getting back to normal. All right, so we were just talking about our executive producer provided us a video of blowing around what I believe to be a trampoline. We're getting all sorts of pictures and images. APS also reporting outages. This looks to be like it's at
Is this from Phoenix Fire Department? Is that what I just saw?
Let me close out of it really quick so we can take a look here. Yeah, Phoenix Fire Department, numerous weather-related emergencies. Please be safe, stay inside when possible, and never drive through flood washes. So there's actually several pictures here. I'm gonna try to bring up each. This looks like this is like a motel.
Yeah, that right there looks like the roof of a motel there that was blown right off. You can see that group of firefighters right there, but look at that. Look at that.
Is that a car?
Yeah, that looks like it's right over there on a truck, right outside what looks to either be an apartment building or a hotel. Yeah, that looks like the roof. If you look at the very top there, it kind of cuts off there to the right. That looks like the roof of whatever that building is. Wow, that is...
There's a couple other pictures, Matt. Hang on, I'm gonna try to...
That is right on a truck there.
Technology is so cool, the fact that we can switch to all these different pictures and more damage there. Let's see.
More damage next to that vehicle.
Just scattered debris. It definitely looks like a motel. I'm not quite sure apartments. To me, it looks like a motel.
Yeah, it looks like a motel there. And that's from Phoenix Fire Department, so obviously that's got to be something that's somewhere in Phoenix here.
I think they sent one more. So we can take a look, and then I'm going to try to get that video that I was talking about earlier. Oh, wow. This one's pretty significant.
Yeah, you can see that. Again, I'm assuming that's the roof that came right down on those vehicles. Look at all that damage. Oh my god.
And is that like a light pole or a power pole too? What is that? That yellow?
Yeah, that's a lot of bad news where that is in Phoenix. Wow.
Yeah.
That's the type of damage that this wind and this rain event can do here. You know, this is a strong storm. I know we keep saying that. We keep trying to emphasize that. But again, for people who aren't in Phoenix, you know, you got to understand these types of things don't roll through all the time.
Exactly.
So this is a strong storm that came through today.
I'm gonna actually try to download this video with what I believe is the trampoline while the tower cam moves around. You can imagine all the pictures and video that we're starting to get in here and taking a look at, essentially. And this will just make it easier for us to switch and actually watch it and stuff. So APS, looks like Maria Shriver, by the way, might be in Phoenix because she took to Twitter to say, okay, so this dust storm is now some kind of gigantic rainstorm, no flying, wild weather. long delays, #Phoenix. So you can imagine all the people there still trying to travel and what they're experiencing. They're essentially grounded. They're not going anywhere, at least until this dies down, which we were wondering because, you know, don't forget, everybody, we'll have you covered for your SCOTUS pick. Supreme Court of the United States will have it here in about 20 minutes. President Trump is supposed to make his announcement, and the Senate was debating a little bit about that today, earlier as well. We'll have you covered here, promise. But until then, we were wondering, like, because we just launched the 7 o'clock show, Fox 10 Extra News at 7, and I was supposed to be essentially one of the, like, lead the first things talking about the SCOTUS pick, and then the producer of that show was like, we don't know how long this weather will last. We don't know if we need to lead with this weather. We don't, and you don't.
Big news day for a Monday. I mean, on a Monday here.
Yeah.
Yeah, big news day. So, do we have that video?
I'm gonna try to pull it up here. Appreciate you coming up, Matt. By the way. Let's see.
Whenever you guys need me, I am always here to help.
Oh, your mic's off.
All right, so the video hasn't come through yet. I'm working on it. I've got a different means that I can show it as well, but I was just trying to download it for safekeeping and to have it. And that's because, you know, a lot of these videos that have audio and I want to be able to show them in full. So let me see here. You can always replay it. I thought there was a way. There we go. We're working, everybody, promise. This looks like actually a security camera, Matt. Somebody's home, because you can see like the timestamp.
Yeah, it looks like one of those Ring cameras or one of those home security systems. When our executive producer Neil Wolf came up and showed it to us, you had it right away. That is you'll see it in a second. You're going to be able to. Well, you could tell when we both kind of gasped when we saw it.
I don't know if there's any sound with it, so hang on here. So you heard it there. I'm going to try to replay it.
Obviously, that person looks like that person's back patio there, and you see that trampoline that just comes rolling right through, destroying some patio furniture.
I'm going to play it again. Take 2. Okay, so you know what surprises me about that is you like heard a boom before you saw the trampoline come over.
Yeah, you can hear the wind gust, and then, you know, I don't know if you had a trampoline growing up. Those, I mean, they're not light.
No,
you know?
But I mean, they've gotten lighter.
Sure, but that thing's just rolling around like it's nothing out there, rolling over. It looked like their patio chairs.
It's up here, by the way, everybody, top left. So I'm gonna replay it. Third time's the charm. Let's listen in. And then you hear the path of destruction it creates as it's rolling. When it's done rolling, I don't know if it hits the fence or it sounds like something glass, but nowadays everybody has security cameras at home, and yeah.
That could have been a lot worse too. I mean,
the grills and the
grill right over there, and it rolled right over the top of it. But that, I mean, imagine being at home looking outside. And I don't even know if this is their own trampoline. It could be from the neighbor. Imagine just looking outside and seeing that trampoline roll across your backyard.
Let's watch it again. Fortunately, nobody was in that.
Yeah.
Or in the backyard.
Yeah, really. I mean, that's one of those things where, you know, you could be outside like trying to videotape the storm, or you know show everybody, you know, what's going on.
Right.
And all of a sudden the trampoline comes rolling through. That's pretty amazing video right there.
Right. And like I said, we're getting tons of pictures, tons of video. Tower cam here. Take you back out to our driving crew, our crew there. I can't tell if they're headed out to the West Valley now, if they're trying to follow this storm the whole way. We got them up now. but we're getting all this stuff, and it's hard to compile it sometimes because you're just like, wow.
Well, it's a good and bad thing because we have so many people out there covering this, obviously, which is we're trying to keep everybody safe here.
Department of Public Safety giving a how-to.
Yeah, I mean, with wet weather, of course, I keep harping on it. We're just not used to this all the time, so it's always good to have a reminder. I mean, the Department of Public Safety says it right there. Don't fool yourself with your wet weather skills. You know, double your following and stopping distance. Drive below the speed limit. Slow down, which is just common sense. So obviously, when it's raining like this, slow down. Use headlights and taillights, and remember, you know, the road is slippery. And you saw in the Phoenix Fire Department tweet earlier, they said don't try to drive through what looks like a flooded wash or a flooded area.
Correct.
And the thing is, I know it just seems like, oh, it's just a little bit of water, but how many dips are there in the road where literally your car could be washed away, and then you're in a mess of trouble at that point. You know, it's really scary stuff. People try, you know, especially if they have an SUV or a bigger vehicle, they say, oh, I can do it, but the water doesn't care what vehicle you're in. I mean, it is powerful stuff if it's flowing like that, especially how it can flood in certain areas of the valley. So it's just not worth it to try and cross those flooded washes.
Right. Matt, again, I want to thank you for coming in and helping us out. It looks like we're going to be wrapping up weather coverage here in a second. We have a lot of regular viewers, daily viewers who are like, hey, the SCOTUS pick, we've been tuning in all day waiting for this. We definitely like to see the Fox News Now coverage. We'll have you covered, promise. We have a separate YouTube event, so there's currently 440 of you watching us on YouTube. If you'd like to head on over to youtube.com/Fox10Phoenix, because in a moment what I'm going to be doing is ending this live stream and starting the new one. There's actually a protest, it looks like, right outside of the Supreme Court saying protect Roe v. Wade, of course. I'm going to be starting to play that. And remember, if anything breaks here in the valley, if this storm progresses or starts up again, or we start learning about more damage, we'll certainly have you covered here on Fox News Now, Fox10Phoenix.com, as well as on air. Fox 10, the 6 o'clock show starts in 13 minutes. But let's get prepared for this. Yeah. You popped up on camera there. Sorry.
Well,
I should have given you better warning.
No, it's all fine. It's all fine. As you shift to your SCOTUS coverage again, if you are in the valley right now and you kind of rode these storms out with us, you know, thank you for tuning in. We had, you know, obviously more damage picks are going to come in.
Yeah.
And again, we're downtown, so the brunt of it is by us, but in the West Valley, they're getting the brunt of it right now. So as this storm continues to roll in, we're going to have it, you know, on all of our social media and all of our channels. We've got you covered. But, you know, you're going to do your thing like you always do. You're going to switch from story to story seamlessly like you always do. But thank you for having me up here. I hope I helped out a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm going to try to clip this coverage for everybody on YouTube. It might take me a while to upload it because it's been pretty long. I think we've been covering weather for more than an hour and a half, so it might take some time to process, but really appreciate you coming up again, and thank you everybody for tuning in and trusting Fox 10 Phoenix, whether it's News Now or in other capacities. We really appreciate it. We'll be back here on YouTube in just a moment. All right, so we had been on the Fox 10 Phoenix Facebook Live the entire time during weather coverage, so thank you to everyone watching there, or watching on YouTube, or watching on fox10phoenix.com, or watching on our app. Again, we are preparing to switch to SCOTUS coverage. Please join us on YouTube if you are not already there. And good news is, so far it seems like very minor injuries and damages, well, except for that home that had the tree in it in Mesa. But other than that, we are hoping for the best, and thank you for all the viewers sent pictures and videos.